I'd just like to show you Printable Tabletop Mapping Kit. I made this tile set for Tiled Map Editor, and it's somewhat of a hack because it uses the wall completion built in, but it uses bigger grid marks. So the grid marks are twice as big as the grid marks in the map editor, and that allows you to have smooth curves and stuff like that, along with the auto completion of walls, so you can simply draw to dig out a cave basically. So I'm going to show you how to set it up, and all these directions are in the readme, github.com/poikilos/printable tabletop mapping kit. Alright, so you gotta make you can just open up this tile set after you download it and unzip it. You can open the example map, or you can set up a new map, and you have to create it the size you want, or you have to resize it later. I'm going to do new map. I'm going to make it double the size I want because it uses 2 tiles per grid mark. Okay, so there it is. So we got, oh yeah, tile size stays at it's got to be whatever the map is, so, or the tile set is. So it's 64 because the tile resolution is 64. Alright, and then I'm going to go to save, and I'll just save this. You got to put the extension on it. It's .tmx. Alright, so I'm going to make a new map. I'll call it try1.tmx. Now I converted the Lost Garden 250 free tile set to PNG using this code. I just looked up how to convert all files to PNG in Python. Then I made a new tile set on a collection of images, select all, dragged them all in. Saved the tile set as 250 free, sorted by name. That is separate from my map kit, but I wanted to show you an example where I use a textured background. So I'm going to call this layer ground because this ground will be below the grid marks that appear. I'm going to fill the ground with the bucket. New layer, tile layer. Next layer is grid. Go to terrains. Got to choose your Printable Tabletop Mapping Kit, so it's PTMK terrains. But don't use that yet. We got to first go to tile sets, PTMK, and then we're going to go to the grid. But we got to select all 4 tiles. If you're going to print a tiny, much smaller than 1/60th scale, you've got to select the bigger, fatter grid lines. Then you go to bucket, and it should be good. You can see that they got fat grid lines. Alright, now new layer, tile layer, name it walls. You can choose any of these types of walls. I'm going to choose walls cave, so I'll name it walls cave. If you want a different type of wall for a different part, you got to put it on a separate layer so that the auto completion of walls works. Terrain sets. Don't paint it with the bucket because otherwise you cannot dig. You have to first go to tile sets, choose the bottom left tile of the tile set you want and bucket fill. I'm going to want the cave, so I choose bottom left tile of the cave tile set. Bucket fill on the cave layer, the third new layer. Go to terrain sets, dig cave, and you can start digging right there. Oh yeah, you got it. You see that? It's easy. It's super easy. Look at that. Now you can go to build cave and add back in stuff like that. You can tap once, it looks kind of like a pillar. If you want to make another smooth layer with the smooth pillars, just go to new layer, tile layer, walls, rounded. And then I'm gonna go to the terrain. Let's see what we got here. Dig angled wall. I might not have the rounded one here. I will add it later. Hopefully by the time you download this. So this will be a square pillar if you do build angled wall or something. Okay, that would have to be filled as well, so that's going to be, so you'd have to go to tile set. I'm just going to go to the straight wall background, fill it, bucket fill. Now to make this work intelligently, this is how you got to do it. So I'm going to go to dig straight wall. That's the only way it's going to work. Let's see if what happens if I filled it. Not going to let me fill it. You got to manually do it. I'm going to hide the other layers so I can see what I'm doing. Dig straight wall. Stamp tool. Okay, this is called the angled wall, my mistake. So I'm gonna do that. There we go. Now it works. Alright, now that's the cave. Okay, so we got the cave. I'm gonna hide the cave for a minute so we can try this. Bucket fill. Choose the angled wall, bottom left tile. Rounded layer. There it is. Go back here, angled wall, dig angled wall. There you go, you got it. Alright, so next time by the time you download this, you should also have a rounded wall for making round pillars. Going to hide the angled there for now. Okay, I'm back at the cave. So you can see this can go very quickly. Alright. And if you want to change the grid thickness for larger printed maps, just choose the smaller grid. Bucket fill, click on the grid layer. I'm going to hide the layer above it. Let's see, bucket fill. Okay, it's not going to do it because you got other stuff, so it's not solid. That's why it doesn't fill it. So if you want to make the grid smaller, just hide that layer, make a new layer, tile layer, call it grid thin. Alright, now you can fill it. There you go. Now you got your thin grid lines if you like that. Or if you're printing the map big enough. You unhide your walls and you got it right there. You can put your texture underneath. And that's it.